Hi there, this is Philip again. This week I'm going to show you my Chapter 7 programming problems. I had a couple of issues this week, but managed to sort them out as I worked through the programs, and I think you'll be happy with the results. So the first program that we're going to take a look at is the rainfall program. I broke this up into two separate parts, one for the class, one for the actual program. Um, So as you can see, I've got my rainfall class here, which has all the methods to uh, collect all the information that the problem required. We've got total rainfall, rainfall average, most rain, and then it's got a decision tree here, which basically just tells it what month name to display out to the user. And then, of course, we've got least rain, which also follows that kind of same decision tree. So I'll go ahead and show that this does indeed run. All right, so we've got it running very quickly here. Let me go ahead and minimize this, maximize this. All right, so very quickly, I'm just going to add in some random totals. Some of my months are going to be extremely rainy. Just for the sake of the program and to demonstrate that it does indeed work. Let's say that September is a horribly rainy month, um, and then we'll say October is a month where we basically had no precipitation. All right, so you can see that uh, the total rainfall is 229. The average rainfall is 19 inches. The most rainfall is September, which I think I misspoke earlier when I was typing it in. And then the least rainfall is October with just a single inch. So we'll go ahead and move forward to the next program. Clear that out. So the next program, this is the one that I ran into the most trouble with. Originally, I wanted to create a program that would allow the user to create their own array as well as decide what size they wanted it. And then on top of that, also put in all the values for the array. And then also input the number that they wanted to compare. Uh, I spent about a day on this before realizing that I think I had bitten off more than I could chew. So I ended up going the simpler route uh, and basically just set up the program to compare an integer, uh, which turns out to be a lot easier than the original route that I decided to take. Um, so here we've got the array method being declared. You can see that it does accept an array and also a number to compare. It's going to return the greater numbers, and it creates this new array here for those numbers to be stored. So very quickly, if we go down here, you can see that the array is already declared. I've got the integer for the number that we're going to declare, or excuse me, that we're going to compare. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 5. Okay. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that the program does indeed work. All right, and it tells us that numbers in the array that are larger than this are 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so the final project that we're going to look at today is the student grades project. I decided to do this all in one program. So you can see up here that I had to declare a lot of variables to be able to utilize some of the different methods and that sort of thing all within the same program. You can see that I've got a method for getting the student name. I've got a method for getting the average. I've got a method for assigning the letter grade. And then down here, if you take a look, I've got basically the entire program set up to where the user can put in pretty much any information that they want. in terms of grades, that sort of thing, and then it's going to spit out information at the very end once you are ready to take a look at the different students in your class. Alright, so let me clear this out and we will go ahead and run it. Alright, so we're going to name the first student Jack. He's going to have an 85 on the first test. I'm going to put in some random test grades here. Second student can be Sally. Put in some random test grades. Next student can be Lucy. Put in some more random test grades. Third student can be named Bob. Bob is a student that doesn't study. I know in my own classroom I have a couple of those. And then the last student is just going to be named James, and he's going to be just a straight C student. Alright, so let's say that we want to get the information on Sally. So we're going to make the selection of student number 2. It's going to tell us that Sally has an average of a 91, which is an A on the 10-point scale. One thing that I do want to point out before I finish up with today's video, notice that if the grade is lower than a 100 or lower than a 0 or higher than a 100, that it is going to pop out the message, this is an invalid score, and then it's also going to just exit out the system. So these are my chapter 7 problems. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at them. See you next time.